Good afternoon. Welcome to the Right Side Broadcast Studios in Auburn, Alabama. I'm Steve Lookner. We have some news today we wanted to bring you. President Trump signed an executive order about historically black colleges, and we have some video on that we're going to show you. Before we show you that, I just want to give you some quick background about what this executive order is all about. But before I do that, I just want to let you know, in case you hadn't heard, we here at Right Side Broadcasting are broadcasting live President Trump's speech to the joint session of Congress tonight. The speech itself is at 9 p.m. Eastern. The pre-show begins at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be here for the pre-show. So we would love for you to join us for this speech. It's not technically the State of the Union. It's like the State of the Union, but when the president gives it his first year in office, it's not called the State of the Union. It's called the Address to the Joint Branches of Congress, or whatever term you want to use for it, like that. So we would love for you to join us tonight. Again, the speech is at 9. It will be right here at Right Side Broadcasting, 9 Eastern. Pre-show starts at 8. And also, if you want to ask any questions in advance for the pre-show, in the pre-show we're going to be talking about President Trump's speech, what you hope to see during the speech, what you think might be in there, and do you think there'll be any surprises? Any kind of questions or comments about the speech, I'll be reading your questions and comments on the pre-show. So if you want to send any of those in early, you can go to Twitter. My Twitter is @Lookner, @LOOKNER, and you can direct message me there. Or you can email me at steve.lookner@rsbn.tv. That information is also at the bottom of your screen, so you can get it there. Okay, but let's talk about the executive order now. So this executive order, we're going to have video for you in a second, but I first want to say a word about what it is and give you a little background so you know a little more about what you're watching in case you hadn't been following this lately. So President Trump signed an executive order today on historically black colleges. Now, a little background on historically black colleges. There are about 100 of them in the United States right now. And these historically black colleges were created after slavery was abolished to give the freed slaves a place to go to college, because a lot of colleges back then did not let in black citizens to their college. So these colleges were created to give freed slaves a place to go to college. And for many, many, many decades, these colleges, a very high number of black Americans who went to college went to historically black colleges. And there's still very high numbers of say blacks who are professionals in this country, doctors, lawyers, that kind of stuff. A very large number of them have been educated at some point in their education at historically black colleges. So they've played a very important role. And these colleges have been struggling a bit over the last 20 to 30 years. One reason for that, and a big reason for that, is that the other colleges, the colleges besides historically black colleges, stopped being segregated and started letting in all kinds of students, including black students. So black students had another option they never had before when all of these other colleges started letting in black students. And as a result of that, enrollment at historically black colleges has dropped. And so a lot of the historically black colleges have experienced lower enrollment. When they experience lower enrollment, they get less tuition. So that's a big problem. Also, the kind of students who go to the historically black colleges have changed, because say some students who are the better prepared ones or the better applicants for colleges, they're going to have more choice. And so a number of them have been choosing to go to the non-historically black colleges. So what's happened is historically black colleges aren't getting applicants who maybe are as well prepared for college or have as good grades in high school. And as a result of that, graduation rates have been lowering at historically black colleges. So you have these issues with historically black colleges. They're getting fewer people going there, so they're taking in less money that way. They're also getting lower graduation rates. And what happens is this has started a little bit of a cycle gets perpetuated where, another thing I should point out is that historically black colleges typically have lower endowments than other colleges, because the kind of people who would go to historically black colleges, black Americans, and who might not be that well off, certainly not as well off as the average white American who goes to college. As a result of this, the people who graduate from these colleges traditionally have had less money to give and give less money to the college than people who go to the non-historically black colleges. So the historically black colleges have had this situation over the last few decades where they're having declining enrollments, declining revenue from those enrollments, less graduation rates, lower graduation rates, and also lower endowments compared to other colleges. And then this causes this kind of cycle because, you know, a student might see, hey, this college doesn't have as good facilities, this historically black college doesn't have as good facilities as this other college, so I'm going to go to this other college instead. So then the enrollment goes down more and the amount of money they take in goes down further. And same with donors might say, well, you know, this historically black college, it doesn't seem to have that very high graduation rates and the facilities aren't that nice and it doesn't have that much money, so maybe I'll give to this other college that seems to be doing better. But if that kind of choice gets made, then historically black college in question will take in even less money. So all of this stuff can have a way of perpetuating itself. But basically, it's historically black colleges, a lot of them need money right now. And it's important, a big source of the money for historically black colleges is the federal government. So this executive order came up today. What does it exactly do? So it's in itself, it's kind of ceremonial in the sense, well, it's not just ceremonial, but my point is, what they really want and need, and if you watch any of the coverage today, you saw presidents of historically black colleges say this kind of thing. What they really want and need is more money from the federal government if they're going to survive, because they're taking in a lot less money for the reasons I just went over and summarized. So this executive order today that President Trump signed doesn't give them any more money. What it basically does is this. One thing it does is that and another thing that should be said here is that every president since President Carter has signed an executive order on historically black colleges, expressing some kind of support for them. So this is, President Trump's executive order today is in a tradition, a presidential tradition that goes back, 40 years now. So one thing this executive order does is there is a program to help historically black colleges in the federal government, and this program has been housed in the Department of Education. The executive order today moves that program from the Department of Education to the White House. It's now being overseen by the White House and located in the White House. And the idea here is it's supposed to give this program, a little more pull or maybe a little more attention. And President Trump, when you watch the video, which is coming up very shortly, even says, this executive order makes historically black colleges a priority. So more than anything, this historically black colleges executive order seems to be a signal. It's a signal that President Trump wants to prioritize historically black colleges in his administration and focus on them and try to help them. But there is this question, ultimately, how much money will be given to historically black colleges because they need this federal money. Will that change at all? Will it go up significantly? Will it go up a little? Will it stay the same? All of that is going to be determined down the road. So the people from the historically black colleges that I saw on TV today said things like, this is an important first step, but ultimately we need financial support from the federal government and we'll see what happens. So, but in this clip you're about to see, which is the clip of President Trump signing the executive order, he had a bunch of presidents of historically black colleges visit him in the Oval Office for the signing, and he talks about how important he thinks historically black colleges are to this country and how important it is to support them. And he talks about how this executive order will make them a priority. But again, to clarify, this executive order, from what I've heard, it really all it does is, so I looked for the text. I don't even think the text has been released yet because I haven't seen it. I searched online for it. But from what I've heard, it again moves the program that oversees these historically black colleges from the Department of Education into the White House. And also, as President Trump said, it makes this a priority for him. So anyways, we'll let you watch it for yourself, and we will keep an eye in the coming months and coming years on the actual funding that goes to the historically black colleges. So, but coming up right now is going to be this video of today's signing, President Trump's signing of this executive order on historically black colleges. And once again, we hope you later tonight join us for President Trump's address to the joint session of Congress, and that will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the pre-show will start at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we hope you join us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, enjoy this video of President Trump signing his executive order on historically black colleges this afternoon.
So this is Historically Black Colleges and Universities Executive Order, very important to all of us. This group has been fantastic, many of which we were with yesterday, and really developed something very special. So thank you all for being here. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, also, Mike, for being here. This is a very important moment, and a moment that means a great deal to me. This month has been a wonderful opportunity to celebrate African American history and to begin working together to create a better future for African Americans and universities and colleges and everything that is African American. Today we're taking action to help make that future happen and that future better. Historically, black colleges and universities are incredibly important institutions woven into the fabric of our history just about like no other. Church is very important, right? Yes. Colleges and universities. Come here. My defender, he's on Education has the power to uplift. It has the power to transform, and perhaps most important, education has the power to create greater equality and justice in our lives. That's why today I'm thrilled to be signing an executive order to recognize the importance of historically black college and universities. Very important. They have played such an important role in achieving progress for African Americans and in our nation's march for justice. HBCUs have been really pillars of the African American community for more than 150 years. Amazing job. And a grand and enduring symbol of America at its absolute best, and I congratulate you all to say that.
Thank you.
With this executive order, we will make HBCUs a priority in the White House, an absolute priority.
All right.
A lot of people are going to be angry that they're not a priority, but that's okay. And we will pledge our support to you, your mission, and our shared mission of bringing education and opportunity to all of our people. And so I just want to congratulate, these are very, very special people surrounding me. You've done an amazing job. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. But you've done an amazing job, and I just want to congratulate you all, and I want to thank you on behalf of our country. And I'm going to sign this.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is really fantastic. Who's going to get that?